I don't know how it is with you, but the first actor who comes into my mind when I think of Dick Cheney is probably Christian Bale.
No,
No.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, jokes aside. What was your first reaction when Adam McKay approached you?
Got me wrong, right? That's not right. How can I possibly play Cheney? But when, ooh, what a challenge! All right, that it just seemed like it was impossible. And then the more I spoke with Adam, like, yeah, maybe it's just possible. So you know, let's give that a shot. But man, it was a long journey to get there.
Ich will dich als Vizepräsidenten. Ich will dich als mein Vize.
Tja, George, ich bin CEO, großer Konzern. Und ich war schon Verteidigungsminister. Und ich war Stabschef im Weißen Haus. Vizepräsident ist ein hauptsächlich symbolischer Job.
Aha.
Aber vielleicht kommen wir zu einer anderen Definition.
Christian Bale is not the obvious choice to play Dick Cheney. Has he always been your #1 choice, or have there been different actors you considered?
He was my first choice right from the beginning. I started writing it, and I knew I needed someone to dive into the mystery of Dick Cheney who wouldn't quit. And no one goes harder into a character than Christian Bale. So he was essential. I felt like you couldn't do the movie without him.
There's probably no other actor in film history I can think of who has gained so much weight and lost so much weight for so many different roles than you did.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a wonderful badge of honor to have.
No, but I mean, why do you always feel it's necessary to get in the physical shape of the characters that you play instead of just taking the easy road and leave it all to the makeup department?
Well, I tell you why, because I didn't know how good they were. And I didn't believe that it was possible. And it was also slightly because psychologically, you know, the physical informs, you know, the mental and the emotional as well. So I always felt like, well, you sort of have to achieve that yourself. Very much when I did American Psycho, I felt that way because that was the first time I'd ever gone and worked out. You know, I'm an Englishman. It was like my working out was just sort of lifting a pint to my lips. When I did that, I realized just how completely different I felt in my presence and amongst other people when I'd been someone who'd become a real gym rat. I just felt like I'm so bloody fortunate to get to do what I do, and I've always admired people who just seem to have no limits on how far they will take something, and it just seemed to be the right thing to do, always, you know, but there's a limit to how much you can keep doing that without having permanent repercussions, you know. I mean, I want to portray a heart attack, I don't actually have a heart attack.
But you look like a complete different person now again.
I hope so.
How did you lost all that weight?
Drink lots of water and go to bed hungry. Yeah.
I see. I should do that too.
Yeah, it's not much fun.
Ich mache auch banalere Jobs. Verantwortung für die Verwaltung, das Militär, Energie und Außenpolitik.
Ja, spitze.
Vice is not a typical biopic. Thanks to your script and directing style, it's very wild and funny and entertaining, but it could have been the exact opposite if another director would have been in charge. You have achieved the same with The Big Short. How did you come up with the idea to tell those serious stories in a comedic way?
You know, we talked about the fact that I think a lot of these professions love to wrap their business in jargon, professional language that makes people bored and disconnected. So it kind of started with The Big Short, the idea that, like, banking isn't that hard. They try and make it seem complicated. And to some degree, it's the same thing with government. They really try and make government seem like, oh, that's the professionals, stay away from it. It's boring, it's corrupt, who cares? So I think with both these last two movies, our idea was to, you know, show how actually exciting this stuff is and how full of life and engaging it is.
You're nominated for an Oscar and you have also won the Golden Globe already. And in your acceptance speech, you thanked Satan for inspiration. I see where you were going with that.
Right.
Cheney is a very private individual, but we only know his public persona. So did you have other inspirations to play him, especially in his private life?
He's an interesting character because he does, you know, you've seen much more. He's actually doing a lot of interviews now. He's not afraid to go and do interviews, but he does understand the power truly lies at working and toiling in the shadows, right? And he enjoys secrecy. But there's some wonderful research been done on him, and his wife wrote a number of books as well, which some of them maybe are alluding to. There's a great deal of research you can do and find out about that.
Dick Cheney is not a very popular figure in America, but the movie still doesn't completely condemn him for his actions, but also tries to portray him as a human being who might have had good intentions, but took the wrong path. Why did you approach his character this way?
You know, I don't think there's a whole lot of value in just portraying people as like good or bad. And what I really found was a guy who was changed by power, who was changed by years and years of getting that taste of power, of being in the White House, until by the end he had become something completely different. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to tell this story. If we had just started with a guy who was already a lousy guy and then just ends up being a lousy guy, I don't think I would have been as interested in it.
Do you know if Dick Cheney has seen the movie?
No, I haven't heard any word about that. I'm gonna guess he won't watch it for a while. I mean, he's a pretty thick-skinned guy, so the bigger question is, has his wife Lynn watched the movie? Because once she watches it, I have a feeling we might be hearing something.
Wenn du viel Macht hast, wird man immer versuchen, sie dir wegzunehmen. Immer.
Bist du noch gewissenloser, als du früher schon warst?
If Adam McKay would do a movie about the current administration, is there a character that you would like to play?
Who would that be? Who do you think? You got any ideas? Wouldn't be Trump. It wouldn't be Trump. No, it can be here because I can't think beyond Alex.
Well, I think the way you can transform maybe someone like Kellyanne Conway or something.
Yes, thank you. That'd be great. Let's go for that one. Yeah, Kellyanne Conway. Perfect.
Okay. I'm looking forward to see that.
The idea was born right here.
Also machen wir das jetzt oder was? Können wir anfangen?
Ich habe das Gefühl, das wird was Großes werden.
Ja, geil.